An act to amend the National Parks and Protected Areas Chapter 4202 has been passed in Parliament. The National Youth Council to launch 5 major programs in March, and the Youth Development Division persists in its mission to train young people. Thank you for joining us on another edition of National Focus. I'm Mervin.
And I'm Tasia Floissac. Stay with us for details of these and other stories after this.
Dominica is blessed with an abundance of water, but getting it to your home is an expensive venture. You have a responsibility to conserve water, to use it wisely. Remember the old adage, you never miss the water till the well runs dry. Think water, think life.
Thank you for staying with us. An act to amend the National Parks and Protected Areas Chapter 4202 has been passed in Parliament. The act will facilitate the construction of a luxury hotel resort in the Cabrits National Park. The bill was debated at the first meeting of the first session of the 9th Parliament last Friday.
The assets of the state I want to propose should be used to attract investment, and that is precisely what the government is trying to do. Put simply, I want the people of Dominica to understand. I want the listeners within the sound of my voice, Madam Speaker, to understand that all this government is trying to do is to develop 15 acres of land to create a 100-room, 5-star hotel, to create 500 jobs, people dressing nicely, going to work every day and going back home with a pay packet where they can feed themselves and they can feed their families. I have no problem with that, Madam Speaker. I am sure that the constituents of Portsmouth, of Cottage, of Vickers, and indeed all of Dominica, Madam Speaker, have absolutely no problem with the government's move to create more sustainable jobs and ultimately sustainable development for the Commonwealth of Dominica.
We have to use what God gives us in a responsible manner, but to our benefit. And we do not see, Madam Speaker, where this decision by the government to allow the construction of 101 rooms to create much needed employment and economic activity in the country can damage the national park.
On November 7, 2014, the government of Dominica and Range Capital Partners Dominica Limited signed the contracts for the construction of a luxury resort approved under the Citizenship by Investment program. The project will be developed on 15 acres of land in Douglas Bay, Cabrits, and will cost approximately $100 million.
A new senator to Parliament, Honorable Josiah Benoit, is looking forward to bringing the issues of young people to the House of Assembly. The senator, who took his oath last Friday, says it was a humbling experience for him and that his involvement in volunteerism has paid off.
I must say it was a humbling experience to take the oath as a member of Parliament, and as a young person, I think it demonstrates clearly that within the Commonwealth of Dominica, voluntary efforts of young people are rewarded, and that the senior persons at all levels of our society, the civil society, the private sector, and very notably the public sector, the government, really acknowledge the contribution of the young people to the national development process. And so it just gives me a further necessity to demonstrate, the best possible role model, that I can be to the young people of Dominica at that level, and to, of course, articulate on behalf of projects and programs for youth empowerment and sustainable development at that level.
Apart from his involvement in youth affairs around Dominica, the senator is an environmental engineer. He hopes that his experience in those fields will add value to discussions in the House.
My youthfulness, my experience at the grassroots level, and also broad perspective from youth across the country in terms of where the future generation sees the country heading and how we can be part of what is ongoing. Of course, with that added interest, I will try to bring forth my experience and expertise in the area of sustainable development as an environmental engineer. Of course, give some perspective on issues related to the environment, climate change, and matters such as that. And of course, as caretaker for the Roseau South constituency, I want to make sure that the concerns and the challenges of the people of the Roseau South are articulated, you know, in a responsible and respectful manner within the Parliament.
The senator was also appointed to the Public Accounts Committee.
His Excellency President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, Charles Savre, has congratulated Honorable Alex Boyd Knights on her recent re-election as the Speaker of the House of Assembly. Honorable Boyd Knights was re-elected for the 4th consecutive term at the House of Assembly last Friday. The Honorable Speaker won 21 votes to 10 over the opposition's nominee, hotelier Judith Pestina.
Your comprehensive grasp and understanding of the rules and customs of this honorable house gives me, and I hope every citizen, the confidence that you will preside over the deliberations of this honorable house and apply the standing orders with discretion, objectivity, and impartiality.
GIS News spoke with the re-elected Honorable Speaker of the House of Assembly on Monday.
First of all, how do you feel? I'm sure this is a great achievement, the 4th consecutive term as Speaker of the House of Assembly.
Well, it's a sense of, I feel a sense of accomplishment, yes, but I am very humbled by the fact that the Parliament has reposed such an enormous trust in me, and I consider it such a serious responsibility that it makes me double my efforts to ensure that everything that I do is done in the proper way, and every decision I make is done in accordance with the rules of the House.
Quite a lot of there's quite a lot of pressure on you, I would believe, as Speaker of the House of Assembly. There are a lot of major decisions that you have to take, and over the years you have been subject to quite a lot of criticism, ranging from the talk shows to the even calypsos. Why do you think this is so? Is it because that you're doing such a great job?
I think Dominica is still a male-dominated society, and a lot of it has to do with chauvinism. And it's sad, because I think that by 2015, the message should be that men and women are equally sharing this space in this planet. And so one is not superior to the other. But while I acknowledge that many men believe this, many more men do not. And so I think a lot of the pressure that is put on me by the males of the Parliament is simply because they have difficulty in having a woman be the Speaker and being the one to make the decisions and make the rulings, you see. So I guess it's just one of those things that one has to just, it's one other obstacle one has to deal with and get over the obstacle.
How do you prepare for this next term?
There's no preparation that I think I have to make in addition to the preparation that I originally made. The rules remain the same, so therefore they have to be adhered to in the same way. They have to be dealt with by me in the same way. Of course, there are new players, and as there are new players, you have to sort of adapt to the way the new players perceive their role. That is one of the key things, you know. It's a whole, we're on a stage, if you like to put it that way, and everybody is playing a part. And so the role players perceive their role in one way or another, and sometimes opinions clash because role players perceive their roles in an opposite way to what the other role player perceives the way to be. But I think, you know, common sense should always prevail, and people should understand what the ultimate goal is is about doing their best for their country.
Do you believe it's your basically your background, your training that has enabled you to perform so well in your job?
Oh, obviously, being an attorney at law and being trained to interpret the rules is a huge asset. In fact, you might be interested to know that in most of the jurisdictions, it is the clerk who is the lawyer. Most jurisdictions, the clerk of the house is a lawyer. In the case of Dominica, the clerk of the house, very competent, very, very competent when I came in, and taught me quite a lot. Nonetheless, if a person has a legal background, they can add to what the clerk is offering. Okay. And I think that's what it is.
Well, I know that we are almost to an end of this interview. So my final question, what can Dominicans expect from Honorable Alex Boyd Knights in the coming term?
Simply that I will observe the rules of the House and interpret them in light of the traditions of the Parliament and the Westminster model which we follow, and ask members to cooperate. It's not about an individual, it's about getting the job done. And so when members are called upon and are told that, look, you shouldn't be saying this, you just recognize that a ruling has been made, withdraw, whatever, and move on, you know? And that's about it, really.
Okay.
Hope and pray for the best.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Contrary to reports circulating in the media that the Speaker of the Dominica House of Assembly refused to allow questions from the opposition on the order paper at the first meeting of the first sitting of Parliament, it should be stated that there was no action taken by the Speaker of the House of Assembly, Honorable Alex Boyd Knights, to prevent the members of the opposition from including questions on the order paper for Friday's meeting. The following are the facts. The leader of the opposition submitted questions and motions for placing on the order paper of the first meeting of the 9th Parliament following general elections. He was advised that it is customary that at the first meeting of the Parliament following general elections going back to 1990, no questions or motions were placed on the order paper. The leader of the opposition held a press conference and informed members of the public that the Speaker refused to put his questions on the order paper and he would take steps to ensure his questions and motions be placed on the order paper. At the first meeting held on the 20th of February 2015, newly re-elected Speaker of the House of Assembly, Honorable Alex Boyd Knights, explained to Parliament that there was a sound reason behind the convention that no questions and motions are placed on the order paper. An elected representative does not become a member of the House until he or she has taken his or her oath in the House before the Speaker, and it is at that point that the privilege of asking questions is bestowed on the member of the House. By virtue of Standing Order 3.1, no member shall take part in the proceedings of the House until he or she has taken his or her oath, and so a member, being a virtual stranger to the House until then, does not enjoy the privilege of asking questions until after he or she has taken his oath.
The month of March promises to be an exciting one for the National Youth Council as it launches 5 major programs targeted at youth around Dominica. On the cards for the council are a new website, a quarterly caucus, among others. President of the National Youth Council, Senator Josiah Benwa, says all this is geared at areas in which Dominica's youths are involved.
Firstly, will be our website, which we've been developing for some time now, as a portal that we hope will allow many more young persons to interact with us as an executive and at the District Youth Council level, exchanging ideas and informing the public of the activities they are doing. So you can look out for the official launch of our brand new website in the month of March. Also, we will be hosting the first ever quarterly youth caucus, which is a new meeting framework within the National Youth Council where the district youth councils and the executive will be having constructive discussions on projects under development by the council, also reporting in a more formal manner. This is actually leading on from one of our strategic objectives of establishing a National Youth Parliament. We realize that there is already a mock parliament taking place, and right now there is not enough will, at various levels for us to establish the youth parliament. So there was a strategic decision then to establish the quarterly youth caucus, which is much more practical and achieves our objectives with even less resources. So we'll be looking forward very much to hosting the quarterly youth caucus. The first one will be hosted at the office of the National Youth Council or a much more prestigious venue that we have in mind if we are able to secure it.
2 new television programs are also expected to be debuted in the month of March.
We have had some success with youth camera action. However, the viewership or the general public that, have, of course, different media suppliers, they want us to also reach them in their homes. So we'll be going on SAT, that will be Digital Play rather, right now, with a brand new show entitled Youth Pulse, where I'll be highlighting once again the positive work that the youth are doing. And right here on the Government Information Service, we'll be debuting a new television show as well. So we'll actually be on all television stations throughout the week so that the general public can be more informed of what the youth are doing in a positive manner.
The council will also launch its new office on Kennedy Avenue along with 5 full-time staff members. The NYC president hopes that the new programs and the increase in staff at the council will allow for more young Dominicans to volunteer their services and skills to develop the country.
I hope that with the website, with these new television shows, with the new staff that we will be having, that there will be a greater impetus to implement the ideas of the youth, because the youth are burdened with ideas in terms of sustainable development of this country. Where we lack often is in the areas of resources. But human resource is something that we have in abundance in terms of our voluntary effort. And so with more full-time staff, you can have a greater success in harnessing that will to give that voluntary effort. So we are hoping that our programs will receive greater support within the communities across the country. And then these young persons employed to work at the council will see their careers develop because of the skills they will develop through working at the National Youth Council office.
The Humane Society of Dominica is on a mission to curb the population of stray animals on the island. The society, whose main goal is to educate the public on the proper and humane care of all creatures, was established here in 2001. This year, 2015, the organization is working to raise funds to conduct at least 100 spay and neuter surgeries on strays. GIS News spoke with Chief Veterinarian Reginald Thomas, who welcomes the idea and explained what it means to spay and neuter animals.
Spay and neuter refers to the surgical prevention of pregnancy of the animal. So in the male, castration or neutering, and in the female, spay. A spay is really the removal of the uterus, the ovary and the uterus of that animal. So it could not be any animals, any puppies.
He says that this move will alleviate some of the stresses brought on by stray animals.
Dogs have been associated with the spread of diseases such as rabies. Well, fortunately for us, we do not have rabies here. Leptospirosis and other zoonotic diseases. So the management of populations is an essential function of protecting what is your environment, protecting your population. Quite apart from the nuisance that they cause themselves in terms of going into garbage and spreading garbage, their feces, and the problems that it causes within a society, within a community.
So far, the Humane Society has conducted spay and neutering surgeries in the community of Point Michel and will be moving to Calabishi this Saturday, February 28th.
For more than 30 years, the Youth Development Division has been equipping the youth of Dominica with the necessary skills required for the world of work with the Youth Skills Training Program. The Youth Skills Training Program started as a remedy for unemployment and mass migration, which was a result of 1979's Hurricane David. Now, 36 years later, the Youth Development Division can now boast of having trained a significant number of youths. Earlier today, GIS News sat down for an exclusive interview with Bernard Buntiff, an instructor trainer at the Youth Development Division's Youth Skills Training Program.
We have been involved in the whole business of training young people and preparing them for the world of work, and not just prepare them technically with a skill, but to prepare them as well in terms of their social development. So our young people have been benefiting from the program immensely, and we can boast of having trained over 10,000 young people in the space of 33 years. So it's a very successful program.
Buntiff noted that programs are implemented after a thorough assessment or market surveys conducted and the needs of the youth in the selected areas are identified. He revealed that the Youth Development Division also assists in acquiring jobs for successful participants.
We are able to also liaise with the public and private sector to find out what is the possibility for employment for these young people after they are trained. So as a result of that, we're able to get into a particular training program that we offer to the young people. And our programs go from woodwork to carpentry to masonry to tiling, you just name it. They're what we call the traditional skills. As well as since 1997, we have been offering computer skills because, as I said, we have to go with the job market, what it is demanding.
Although statistics show that interest in computer training skills is slightly dropping, the Youth Development Division is working to adapt and improve its training programs to increase participation.
Presently, we are still offering computer skills on a yearly basis, but we have realized this year, since last year, that the interest, the demand that was made previously for computer skills seem to be diminishing a bit. We do not know what is the cause for that. Is it that young people have gotten enough, or are they relying on their tablets and their cell phones to teach them computer skills? But it is a situation that is really grave for us at this moment, because we are now seeing a trend that young people are not coming forward for computer skills. So we are looking at ways of even building on the computer skills that we offer to get even more advanced than what we are offering based on the interests of the young people.
GIS News will bring you more on that interview in a subsequent newscast. And that's the English news. McPherson St. Luce is next with the Creole highlights.
Alors tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole. Non, moi c'est McPherson St. Luce. Premièrement, le gouvernement Dominique passe législation en parlement pour changer nos pays quiet pour Kalinago. Honorable Cassius Darou, c'est ministre Kalinago.
Nous allons en parlement, nous passer on la pour ça. On j'ai quelque chose qui parti douet. Hod Carib pour Kalinago, ever hod reserve pour territory. Changement ça ni on lo pour faire nous parce que nous même quiet qu'on nous a dit en créole là. Il y a une connotation qui pas douette. Comme dit le croyez à des monde carrefour, il a dit c'est cannibal. Et bien c'est bagay ça là, nous a dit ça c'est history qui pas douette avec nous. Et on manière pour adresser ça, c'est pour changer pour créer comme nous. C'est comme ça grand papa nous créer nous Kalinago. Mais c'est européen vini parce que il pas de ça conquérir, il pas de ça faire ça yo voulait avec nous. Et dit ça donc mais manière nous kay c'est beaucoup yo Kalinago croyez dit nous c'est cannibal parce que nous resist colonization. So pour ça yo fait un bagage en history qui pas doit être avec nous avec gouvernement ouais fit avec nous adresser.
Honorable Darou fait pas wall qui change masala qui change identité Kalinago.
Moi changement en nom. Ça c'est on 29 qui a inventé par peuple Kalinago. Parce que pour tout longtemps, nous étions à Dominique, comme premier monde qui habitait ici, pour voir cette monde à venir avec ça, dire, c'est pas Kalinago, c'est quoi? Bon, ça y a fait, nous avons écrit l'histoire. Il y a un bon sens of ethnic pride, comme un peuple qui debout pour défendre Dominique. Même là, ces colonisateurs la vini, là, il n'y a pas de ça fait, ça a été voulu vers nous. Yo goumé vers nous, a dit nous morts, nous pas voulu rentrer dans l'esclavage, nous te simi pour la vie nous. Et bien aujourd'hui nous avons un gouvernement, un gouvernement qui est bien bon pour le peuple Kalinago parce que les gens font l'eau et moi je pense que tant qu'à progrès, nous avons tapé plus assistant au gouvernement. So changement même, changement non. Comme dit c'est ou quoi redefine comme monde. Comme on la vie neuf, on vend neuf qu'à vanter et nous avons l'eau pour venir.
En d'autres nouvelles, Parlement Dominique passé législation pour amender loi qui concerne le parc national Dominique. Débate morceau législation ça la point place pendant session vendredi qui passé. Gouvernement Dominique tapé pouvoir pour obtenir 15 acteurs à l'occasion parc national en Cabrex pour faciliter un hôtel à Batila. Gouvernement Dominique signé contrat et puis company range pour faciliter, ça c'est pour battre faciliter ça là. Gouvernement Dominique fait parole pendant des débat en parlement qui les faciliter ça là qui bâti autant Dominicains qui tapé travail. Construction hôtel ça là qui commencé l'année ça là. En d'autres nouvelles, département quarantine qui a ses habitants pour couper feuilles figues qui affectent et puis black cigatoka a dans une manière programme spray bien détruit maladie l'âme qui affecte ces daouis salam. Parole celle-là sorti au officier quarantine ministre agriculture M. Van Ansem.
C'est pas un bagage ministre agriculture. Nous avons dit c'est planter à faire dilifina. Dilifina bien important parce que si vous pas faire dilifina spray chemical là passe à faire on fait qui nous vini green encore so c'est ça nous ca des monde on fait dilifin là ou ca tirer maladie en dans fil l'eau et ben souni fertilizer ou ca buy fertilizer so encore nous ca travailler avec bam pour nous garder comment nous ca mener fertilizer en dans pays so nous pour travailler ensemble et pas bagaille Ryan parti mener Black Sea à Dominique, c'est pas bagaille gouvernement, c'est tout le monde pour travailler. Et bien, si on a des figues, 3 figues en la couper feuille là, ok, faire composting là, faire mettre tout en bitin compost ou en origine figue là, en touche figue là, et bien, faire des lifines là, pas quitter venir noyer avec bagaille, et bien, dire, yo pas venir spray, parce que nous pas qu'à spray en la commune parce que c'est un toxique chemical.
Et puis finalement, le gouvernement Dominique en collaboration et puis secrétariat CARICOM a targeté médias en Dominique pour tenir un workshop qui concerne CARICOM Single Market and Economy. Participants qui recevront un meilleur couponnement manière CARICOM Single Market and Economy qui a fonctionné. Secrétariat l'a recognisé que les médias autant important pour disséminer information par le public là à ce CARICOM Single Market and Economy. Workshop là qui tient en 10 segments, yon on a ces participants là qui joignent tête à tête et puis on l'autre pendant un cocktail qui prend place en hôtel à Fort Young. Plusieurs pays CARICOM qui ont engagé un workshop pour ça aussi. Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelle en créole pour à présent. Non, moi c'est McPherson, Luce. Au revoir.
Coming up next, health benefits of drinking lemon water.
If you can believe this.
Come by my house and let me show you some movies.
Why can't you believe this? Some mothers don't believe their own children when they say they've been sexually abused, and they don't report it. Remember, if anyone asks to see or touch their private parts, touches them inappropriately, shows them or forces them to touch one's private parts, has sex with them, shows them pornographic material, or deliberately lets them hear or see the act of sex, then it is sexual abuse. Believe your child and report the sexual abuse. For more information about child abuse, contact these agencies. This message brought to you by UNICEF and this station.
Lemon is a natural energizer. It hydrates the body so it feels revitalized and refreshed. Here are a few other health benefits. Lemon gives your immune system a boost. Vitamin C is like our immune system's jumper cables, and lemon juice is full of it. It is an excellent source of potassium. Lemons are high in potassium, which is good for heart health as well as brain and nerve function.
Lemon aids in digestion. Lemon juice not only encourages healthy digestion by loosening toxins in your digestive tract, it helps to relieve symptoms of indigestion such as heartburn, burping, and bloating. It also cleanses your system. It helps flush out the toxins in your body by enhancing enzyme function, stimulating your liver.
And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm.
Like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter at GIS Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. From all of us here on the GIS News Production team, I'm Tasia Floissac.
And I'm Mervin. Matthew, thanks for watching and join us again next time on National Focus.